In this module, we are going to understand functions. And to start with, we'll learn about what are functions, how to create them, and how to execute them. To understand this, we'll take a look at this example, which says, take two number values from user and alert the sum of numbers. And in code, it will look something like this. So we are taking two number from user and converting that value into number using explicit type conversion. We are storing them in first number and second number variable. Using alert function, we will alert the message saying the sum of these two numbers are and the sum of those numbers. So these are the steps that we need to perform whenever we need to do something like this. Now if we refresh this page, it will ask for the first number, that is 100, second is 90, and the sum of those two numbers are 190. But what if I want to do the same thing for the second time? For that, we will have to repeat the code, but now we will have to take care of the variable name. So now we have two variables, first and second, and we are alerting the sum of those two values. Now you refresh it, you'll see for the first time and you pass 190 and you get 190. It will alert again because we are doing it for the second time. And it will alert the sum, that is 223. But this way of doing things is not feasible, is because we will have to repeat ourselves every time we need to do that. So here the better way would be to store this series of steps somewhere so we can repeat it, because that's what we did with values. Like I'm just accepting some value from the user, I'm storing into a variable so I can use it in future here. So similarly, what I can do is to store this series of steps into function, because function is store of steps that you take to perform certain action. So here to create a function similar to variable, we'll say function. The keyword will create a box. And we know that we need to name this box so we can call it in future. So I'll call it add two numbers. And here we'll use brackets and then we'll use curly brackets. So whatever is inside curly brackets is known as the body of the function. So the body of the function contains the series of steps. If we refresh this file, we'll see nothing happened. Because now let's see what happens when you define a variable. So this is how we define a variable. But as soon as we define a variable, nothing happens until you want to access it. So you say something like user and then you get access to the value. So here when we do something like this, function keyword will create a box, something like let, and it will store the series of steps. Now if we do something like add two numbers and see, you'll feel like similar to username, add two numbers also contains series of steps here that we defined in the function body. Now how can I perform these actions? So to perform the action, name of the function and open and close brackets and press enter. This is called function execution. Only by doing this in front of the name of the function you can execute a function. There is no other way. So as soon as you execute a function, the steps inside the function body will be executed. And the first thing is to prompt the message enter first number, and we can say 234. It will go on to the next step and prompt the second message, that is enter second number, and I'll say 100. And as soon as you press OK, it will go on to step 3 to alert the message by saying the sum of these two numbers are 334. And as soon as you do that, the function execution is over. If you want to do it again, you can go ahead and click on it and it will redo the whole thing again. And you can pass the value 100, 100 and you'll see the output 200. So here, by writing the name of the function followed by open and close brackets is what is known as function execution. Nothing happens until you execute the function. Only after executing the function, the step inside the function will be executed. So let's move on to make another function. And what it does is accept a number from user and alert the square of that number. So to do that, the first thing we'll need is the number. So we'll say number is equal to, and using unary plus will convert the value from the prompt into number. Now once we have the number, what we need to do, we need to alert the square of $number is, we'll say number multiplied by number. And these are the only two steps we need to do to perform this operation. So now I want to wrap this into a function. So to do that, the first thing I need to do is to create a box by using the keyword function followed by the name of the box, that is get square. And here in function body, we'll move this. So now what happened is we created a function called get square. Here we can call the function. So this is called function definition. And this is called function call. To call or execute a function, we need to add open and close brackets on the name of the function. Now if we refresh it, we'll see enter first number because this is the first function being called. I'll say 100, 100, the sum is 200, and now it's saying enter the number. And here we'll pass 10. Press enter and the square of 10 is 100. So this is working properly. So we learned about functions are a way to store series of steps that we do to perform certain action. So here the series of steps was in 3 steps. Here it is in 2 steps. But using function you can store them. And this is called function definition because that is how you define a function. And this is called function call or function execution. To execute the function, we have to use open and close brackets after the function name.